So this episode shows us what happened to the rest of the crew when they came through the wormhole. The ship gets pretty banged up, but everybody seems to survive. They crash land on some ice on the surface of the nearest planet, and Detmer keeps the ship from being destroyed on impact, but she still seems pretty shaken by the experience. They figure out that they didn't land on Terralisium, where they expected to be, but there is a settlement on the planet, which proves that they were successful at stopping Control from sterilizing the galaxy. Dr. Culber wakes Stamets up from his induced coma, so he apparently also survived his injuries. Despite not being fully recovered, Stamets is eager to get to work repairing the ship, but Culber sternly forbids this. The ship can't communicate, and to fix their communication system, they need rubidium, which they don't have, but there is a natural supply at the settlement nearby. Giorgio wants to take the rubidium by force, but Saru insists on maintaining Starfleet standards and bartering with them peacefully, and asks Tilly to accompany him to do so. Stamets sneaks down to engineering, and Reno insists on helping him find a ruptured EPS relay despite his uncooperativeness. Saru explains to Tilly that he brought her along to make a good first impression on the locals, and they see a mysterious guy in the distance. Non determines that the ice the ship is stuck in is parasitic somehow and is eating into the hull. It expands in the shades, so they have to get the ship out before dark. Giorgio takes an interest in Linus's visible spectrum. Tilly gets nervous about approaching the settlement because the surrounding vehicles look like they've sustained combat damage. They get transported to a saloon where some guys pull their guns on them. Tilly asks for help with the rubidium and offers dilithium in return, which the guys in the saloon are very enthused about. They have to hurry though because a bad guy named Zara is coming. Reno suggests getting Nilsson to climb into a Jeffries tube to fix a relay since both Reno and Stamets are injured, but Stamets insists on doing it himself. One of the guys in the saloon repairs Discovery's communications device with some programmable matter, which impresses Tilly. The guy at the bar explains to Saru that Zara is a guy who delivers supplies to the colony on the planet, and because they are dependent upon him for their necessities due to their lack of dilithium, he extorts them. Zara shows up, and the folks at the saloon want to keep him from finding out that they have dilithium, but he knows the Discovery is on the planet and infers that Tilly and Saru are crew members. He also inferred that they come from the past, from their old technology, and from the wormhole they just came out of. Zara kills the guy who fixed their translator, for some reason, and takes Saru and Tilly hostage for their dilithium. The parasitic ice shakes the ship, and Stamets gets thrown around in the Jeffries tube, which opens up one of his wounds. Reno sends Nilsson to get Dr. Culber. Giorgio, figuring that Tilly and Saru would probably get themselves into trouble, is discovered looking around the saloon. Zara shoots her with his torture gun, but she doesn't die, because it takes a really long time to kill someone with that thing. She starts a fight with Zara's goons, and easily beats them all up. The sun is set, so Tilly reminds them that they gotta get back to the ship. Culber shows up to yell at Stamets for getting himself injured, and Reno talks him through the rest of the repairs. Saru talks Giorgio out of killing Zara and promises the colonists to deliver supplies to them. One of them gives Saru a personal transporter, and they get back to the ship and fix their communications. They struggle to get out of the ice, but Michael shows up with Book, and they pull the ship out with their tractor beam. My favorite bits of this episode were the bits of banter between Reno and Stamets. What I didn't care for, though, was Zara. He was wearing spurs. I get that the saloon scene was going for a Western sort of theme, but the spurs took it a bit too far. He obviously wasn't riding a horse. I doubt they even have horses on this planet, so nobody is going to even get it as a cultural reference. The spurs were pointless. Also, parasitic ice sounds like a pretty goofy contrivance. What the hell is parasitic ice? What does that even mean? So the first two episodes of this season were kind of rough. It hasn't quite found its footing yet.